Right now, we are happy because in our virtual room is Annea Lockwood. So Annea Lockwood, welcome. Welcome to the virtual marathon. You are in Montana.
Beautiful, David. I won't tell you how beautiful.
Don't make us feel bad.
We're coming tomorrow. We're knocking out you.
So Annea, we love to see you. It's great to have you always. And we are going to be having a performance by Sarah Cahill of a piece of yours. And I wonder if you can say something about what that piece is and how it came to be.
Sure. The piece is RCSC, which is one of my more enigmatic titles, and I need to explain it first. Sarah commissioned it. It's a piece written in honor of Ruth Crawford Seeger. Sarah had commissioned 7 short piano solos from women composers, including Julia. And all of us feel passionately how important a composer and how radical a composer Crawford Seeger was. As I was working on it, I started playing around with Crawford Seeger's and Sarah's initials and very quickly realized that Sarah's initials, of course, are flipped in RCS. So that was just, I knew it was a crazy title. I mean, inexplicable in this has to be explained, but it was irresistible. So,
well, I remember I went to the concert where it was played in New York. And my first thought was it was the Royal Shakespeare Company and then an extra letter. But does it have any of Ruth Crawford's own music in it? Or does it have?
It does. I love Crawford's music. I used the 10-note row that she constructed the 4th movement of that great string quartet of hers, String Quartet 1931, from. I didn't use any of her contrapuntal techniques, didn't use the structure, just the row. And of course, but in a way unexpectedly, as I kept working with those pitches, Crawford Seeger's little turns of phrase, little fragments of note combinations she loved to work with kept emerging. And it was like seeing friends popping up. It was really a nice process.
Now, as a young composer, now, were you aware that, I mean, was Ruth Crawford Seeger someone who, at what point in your life did she come into your radar system? And did you go, because she was kind of alone, right? She was kind of like a pioneer in many ways, right?
Yeah, she was the first woman to get a Guggenheim, first woman composer to get a Guggenheim in 1930. Very much a pioneer and really rather alone. And she says in one of her letters that she much preferred to basically to educate herself in processes rather than seeking out guidance from, say, Schoenberg. She was over in Berlin at a time when she could have done just that, in Vienna, and gone over to Vienna. In any case, I didn't come across her until I came to the States. I mean, coming to the States was like a whole new world. So many composers. I already knew a number of American composers, which is one thing that drew me here, and the sheer exuberance of the music scene. But there were so many composers I'd never come across, and I was interested in tracking the history of women composers, going way back as far as possible, and I came across Crawford Seeger almost immediately, and I love dissonance, so the dissonant counterpoint really resonated.
And in the process of writing this piece, was there a back and forth with Sarah, or did you just kind of develop it and hand it to her? What was the creative process?
It's always a back and forth with a performer for me, because I love to make pieces which are in some way based in the performer's predilections and personality and way and preferred ideas and so on. So there's always a back and forth, but this piece wrote itself really fast. I mean, it was amazing to me to write it that fast. I wrote it in 2 weeks. I was at the Jurassic Ranch residency. So I had, a month, 5-week residency, and I was focused on making this piece for Sarah. And then it sort of wrote itself in a couple of weeks, and I was scratching my head thinking, now what am I going to do for it? Went out field recording. But
the food is very good there. It's actually,
the Jurassic Ranch was a wonderful place to be. And it certainly was inspiring. I mean, Crawford Seeger and Sarah's amazing refinement as a pianist and passion as a performer were inspiring, and the ranch itself was really lovely. Its rhythms, the sort of rhythms of that landscape was really lovely. So 2 weeks, and then I sent her a draft, and we communicated back and forth, and is this feasible? Have we got time to do this? And so on. She sort of hops in and out of the piano, and fine-tuned it, and there we are.
What did you do in Montana? You were in Montana was it last summer or 2 summers ago that we did 1,000 Year Dreaming, and was it last year or?
I think it was 2 summers ago, wasn't it? And it was wonderful that you resurrected it. I was so thrilled.
But you came from Montana, I think, or is that where you spend the summer, or?
Yeah. Once we stopped building the house, once we decided, okay, fini, and just lived in it. We were here every summer. Yeah, I think the last year was the only summer we've not been here ever since we first met, actually.
And what part of Montana are you in?
Northwest Montana, up about an hour and a half's drive from Glacier National Park. Wow. So we're in the foothills of the Divide, and a little higher than that, about 3,000 feet here.
Wow, fantastic. It's always great to talk to Annea Lockwood. Thank you so much for being part of this today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.